Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of preferably over 18. Welcome to the show, Straight Talk with your old pal Yimian. Before we get started, as always, the cracking of the beer. Okay, now we can get started. Headlines and news. This is going to be real short, not too much going on in the old headlines and news, but I got to bring this to everybody's attention because I don't know if you've heard about this or not, but apparently, and I really don't even know the location, but there was an abduction of a young girl, 8 years old, and this guy, Victor Perez. He's been running through the ringers. He's having a hard time, with that, like everybody else in this economy. And he wound up doing, I guess he was a licensed contractor or something, but not anymore. Not with this economy. Now he's picking grapes or something like that. And I guess because it was raining, he got the day off. And he was hanging around and he checked out the updates about this girl being abducted. And he spotted the vehicle. He got in his pickup and he proceeded to chase the vehicle, cutting it off several times, and he saw the little girl in the car. He kept yelling at the guy, that ain't your girl, and finally the guy stopped the car and just kind of basically pushed the little girl out of the car and drove off. And he stayed with her, and called 911. He got partial plates, and the guy was later on abducted, and they got him. So, I personally want to give this guy a big thumbs up. A hell yeah. Here's to you, pal. Taking matters into your own hands. God knows if that little girl would have been okay if you didn't. I salute people like that, You don't just sit on your ass and hope for the best. You made a decision, and then, it was a risky one. Who knows? The guy could have had a gun, but you went out there, you put your life on the line as a good Samaritan, and I salute you, and so does Straight Talk. I just wanted to give everybody a heads up on that because I like hearing that kind of stuff. The other thing I want to talk about in headlines and news is there was a working class poll, okay? And apparently, majority of working class people are said to be going to vote Republican in 2012. Well, I would just like to bring out my old trusty compadre right here on the American people. What are you, stupid? You think that, you just go back and forth from Republican to Democrat. I've said it once, I've said it again. There is no winning with either or, okay? Donald Trump, 2012. What it comes down to is get an independent in there. You have to get somebody in there who's not for left or right wing. It's not going to change anything. Okay, yeah, some people have views that, when the Republicans in office, the economy's better and jobs are more, and you know what? Maybe a majority of that may be true, but you know what? It's not good, no matter what. It wasn't good with Bush, and it ain't good with Obama, okay? Get them all out of there. Be done with it. It's tiresome, it's frustrating, the American people are hurting, and the only way we're going to accomplish anything is for an independent. And my pick would be Donald Trump. I've said my reasons, I'll say them again. Because bottom line is you need somebody who's in it for the country. He's got a good head on his shoulders, he knows how to manage things, he's got his own money, he doesn't have to waste ours, and he ultimately looks out for the better interest of this country because it's the better interest for him. He's a businessman. He wants this country to run smooth. We got to be done with this, people. Left, right wing, out the window. Okay, now, moving along, I'm going to bring back the 2012 blog. As I said, I'm going to go into this a little bit at a time. Not going to just bleed everybody's ear out with it, nonstop. But I do want to go into, because I did promise we go into some scenarios and preparations. Let's say, alright, whether you believe it or not, let's just say something happens on 2012. Whatever. The Mayans predicted something, but nobody knows what. Something goes down. Government fails. Technology, complete shutdown. Now you're relying on the land. You have a family you have to look after. You have to find food, shelter, water. Okay, maybe you can't stay where you're at. Maybe the government doesn't fail. Maybe the government is pulling people into concentration camps. Trying to round everybody up so they can get a lid on stuff. The government likes to control the situation at hand all the time. Do you want to be there? No, you're going to head for the woods, head for the mountains, get out of Dodge, right? Keep your family safe. You're going to need supplies. You're going to live off the land for a little while, right? What are you going to need? I got a bunch of people watching the show who are ex-military, and I'd like to hear your opinions on what you would bring in your bag. Let's get a little something going. I think this will be fun if we can get this going, There's a couple guys out there that I know that are, ex-Marines, ex-military, and, what would be in your bag for the end times? What would you have on you heading up to those mountains? Canned goods, essential, I think. I always say I load my pantries with fruit cocktail. All right, because bottom line is canned food doesn't go bad, and fruit cocktail, man, you loaded with nutrients, vitamins, and minerals. It's all good stuff. That's stuff you really got to think about, people. What won't go bad? What can you take with you? As far as tools, you're going to need to build shit. If you're out there in the woods, and you have to just get the hell out of Dodge and you ain't staying in your house, now you need to put a roof over your head. You need to block yourself from the weather and such. What happens if something happened in 2012 where the air was compensated? Now you got to build a filtration unit. Does anybody know how to do that? There's a lot of things out there that, whether or not you think 2012 is real, you should be prepared for. I want to go to the extent where I'm building underground bunkers, but that's a little extreme. Because then you got to be set on the location you're at. And I don't know if I want to be here when it all hits the fan. I'm not really keen on this particular area, so that's what that way is in. Are you going to stay? Are you going to go? What do you guys think? I'd really, really love to hear opinions on this one. Comment down below on discussions on the fan page and Facebook. You got the 2012 blog. I'm going to throw this up there. What would you put in your duffel bag of, of tricks of the trade? Like I said, tools. Got to have them tools, man. Got to build shit. How are you going to eat? You got to hunt, right? You got to get food. If you don't have enough canned stuff, make a fire. Can you make a fire? I don't know about you, but every time I go to a gas station, I grab them free matches. I got an endless supply of matches at my house, at my disposal. And I do it every time I go out. Just thinking ahead. Stuff like that. You got to. And that's about it. Now, I'm going to leave this up to you guys. Start commenting on this 2012 blog. Let's get it going. Okay? And I'm going to leave it at that. For today, anyway. Tissues for my issues. Now, I'm actually bringing two things into one today because I have a letter here with me. And guess what? I read it. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to read it again to you guys. But I have to throw this right into the tissues for my issues subject. Wait till you guys hear this. I'm sure you can sympathize as well. Dear Yimmy Yim, I have been out of work for almost 7 months. I am highly trained in my field, but also am up there in age. I have been on several job interviews for people looking for my expertise. However, I've noticed that they hire younger people with less experience to pay them less. I can't tell you how many times I've heard, "You're overqualified. I just want a damn job." I was wondering what your views were on something like this and the job market. Sincerely, Brad. Well, Brad, the job market actually blows. And I don't think that's a big secret to anybody. And what it comes down to is there's a lot of that. When you had this recession start, you had downsizing. People getting rid of people. And they got rid of people like you, Bradley. They got rid of the people they paid more money, that got higher rates, that been with the company longer. Believe it or not, I heard lots of stories about this. People that have been with companies 20 years getting the boot, keeping the younger guys on who they can pay like $8, $10 an hour because it's on the job training or whatever. You don't have the experience, so you can't get paid that much. That's the people they're keeping. That's the people they kept. And that is a crock of what. So that's my opinion on it, but and I'm glad he wrote this letter because it still goes on as the job market, they say, gets better. And people start hiring again. They're not hiring these people that they let go. They're hiring the people they kept. Younger guys, less experienced, people that have to pay less. And it all comes down to politics, man. It's unfortunately the way business people work. You find a small company, mom and pop place, one-time owner, that has a business for many, many years, pass it down to family members or whatever. Maybe you got a guy in there then that may actually care about the people who work for him. But you get to a big chain, a big company, you're just a number. It's the way it's always been. You have to take this right back to unions. You notice you see a lot less of that lately. You get a union job. Yeah, right. That doesn't happen, man. They don't exist anymore. Guys like Jimmy Hoffa, they ain't around anymore. That's another thing that should be started back up. Somebody needs to get unions back up and going, protecting the working people out there. Benefits are outrageous. The amount of money you have to pay into benefits right now is just ludicrous. It's not fair. You're trying to do well by your family and you're getting shafted on it. And that's about it. What else can you say about it? It sucks. Hey, what about, does anybody out there have any suggestions for Brad? Any way to make this better? Let's hear it. Like I said before, this isn't just my show. This is your show, the American people. And then that's all I got for this week. Until next time, it's yours now.